Hello everyone, today I'm here to talk to you about Qwixx Longo. Now this is a roll and write that's a successor, a sequel, a slight re-implementation of just normal Qwixx. Now this is a roll and write which is very numbers focused. Everyone's going to get a score sheet which has 4 different rows. Red and yellow go from 2, in this case, up to 16, and the blue and the green ones go from 16 down to 2. So the way this works is on the turn, the active player rolls the dice and then shouts out what the sum of the 2 white dice are. In this case, 7. All players can then write that 7 down on their score sheet somewhere. Now a 7 at the start is not great because you'd have to skip over a lot of numbers because you have to fill them in from left to right. Now the other players around the table don't need on someone else's turn to use that number. So they'd probably go, I think I'll pass. Now the active player needs to use at least one number. So they can do that, but then they could also, or instead of, sum 2 of these up. Now this is actually a really good roll. It creates 14 by adding the one of the white dice with the green dice. Now as that starts at 16, you're only crossing off a couple of numbers. And that's basically the aim of the game, is to not skip too many numbers and fill them in. Now there's some quirks and stuff, like if you manage to fill in 6 spaces of the row before you get to the final 2 numbers, you can cross off one of those 2 numbers and lock that colour. That's going to get you an X for the number, crossing that off, and also crossing off the padlock. More crosses, more points. It's that simple. Roll some dice, use some numbers if it's your turn, maybe use numbers if it's an opponent's turn, and, well, cross off as many numbers as you can in order, because you can't go back once you've skipped over numbers. Now, there is a bit of a twist with this. As well as being 8-sided dice, there's also a concept of lucky numbers. And actually, I like the idea of lucky numbers. I just hate the way it's been implemented. The lucky numbers here is, say you have 5 and 8. They are your lucky numbers. Every other player is going to have different lucky numbers though. If the sum of the 2 white dice equals that, instead of using that number, you can just cross off the next number in whichever row you have the least crosses in. Now, that's really quite helpful and just allows you to get that a little bit more points. The problem is everyone's lucky numbers are different. Now this game is already lucky. You're already basing everything off the roll of a dice. And then there's an extra luck factor on top. Now if everyone had the same lucky numbers, say at the start of the game they'd been rolled for, then it would feel fair that everyone's getting that benefit when the lucky numbers come up. Instead, we've had it where in one game, one player had 13 lucky numbers come up. Their number was like 10 and something, and 10 got rolled about 10 times. And me, being the other player, got 3 lucky numbers in the entire game. It just meant that they had easy opportunity to do lots of crosses, whereas I was having to skip stuff. Now, I don't mind losing, but it did feel that the luck was against me, and not just from the rolls of the dice, but because of those lucky numbers on top of it. I just wish that if we all had the same numbers, we'd have all benefited from the luck at the same time. And there's still the rest of the rolling to give you your choices. But that is Qwixx Longo. It's a fun game. I'm just going to sort of home rule it that everyone's going to be using the same lucky numbers from now on, just to reduce the luck on luck factor. Anyway, that is Qwixx Longo, a very quick roll and write, numbers focused roll and write, which they're good for short plays and such. Until next time though, check out other news, reviews and stuff on the channel.